beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Open and Play Big Spring. Now, Open and Play is a new player on the scene, and for their first figure, they decided to go with a masterpiece interpretation of Springer. For the packaging, fairly simple. You can see you got the Open and Play logo right down here. It says Big Spring. You got kind of a sketch image of, obviously, the kind of head portion of the robot mode, the car mode, as well as the helicopter mode. And then, very simple, green and white box. You come around in the back, you get a couple product shots of them. Obviously, both in his two kind of alternate modes, his robot mode, and then kind of just like a front and back image. But really, very simple box. And then it opens very much like a shoebox, and then on the inside is the figure. Now, bringing the figure in, here he is. One thing I'll say is that for some reason, this guy doesn't come with instructions. Now, I am getting this to review it. I don't know if that's the reason why he doesn't come with instructions, but it's definitely something that I didn't really expect, considering I thought this was more of a kind of final product. But here he is in his kind of space car kind of mode, and I'll be totally honest, there's aspects that I really do like about this figure. I think there's a lot of really cool things that they engineered into him, but then there's some aspects that I'm really not that big of a fan of. Now, that being said, in talking to the people, the figure really was designed and manufactured to be a toy, more for playing and posing than just a shelf piece. And I can definitely see that with some of the aspects on it. I guess just we're so used to things being a certain way and not being designed to kind of play with that I think we're being a little bit overly critical. But it is something obviously worth noting. Now, in terms of his accessories, as you can see, he comes with a couple here. Let me get these out. So first off, he comes with a blaster. Nothing, well, it's upside down. Nothing overly spectacular about this. You can see it's done in this kind of swirly grayish silver plastic. Decent molding throughout it. You can see some nice kind of sculpt work along the front and then the barrel area as well. I mean, simple, but decent, I suppose. And then he also does come with his sword. You got a little sheath thing right here, but really nice silver paint on that. And then you got some very nice blue metallic paint down there for the handle. This also will separate and become obviously the propeller for his helicopter mode, but we'll cover that here in a bit. But nice silver paint throughout the entire thing, and then you just stick that together like so. And we also do get this guy. Now, this one is a bit of question mark for me. The sculpt work on it is good. The design looks decent. Unfortunately, though, completely lacking any paint detail that would really make it pop. Obviously, this is kind of an homage to the missile thing that he used in the Transformers movie to help bring down Devastator. It's just it really is lacking paint. I mean, everything else on it is great. I just want some paint detail on here. So you do get those for his accessories. Not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely could have been done a little bit better. Vehicle mode wise though, overall decent. And that's really how I feel about this entire figure. It's decent. One thing that I'm kind of put off by is just like how big and thick this is, and then how stubby the back section gets. It's like it should be squished down to extend it out some. It just, I feel, and then when you look at it from the top, I mean, that's really kind of wide and bulky. I just think that the proportions are strange. Like the top section here, fine, but then the legs, all this gets a little bit short and stubby, I think. Now, for a comparison, here he is with Masterpiece Hot Rod, and I think this scale works pretty decently. I mean, he's probably a little bit bigger than he should be, but for all intent and purposes, it's not bad. I mean, this is kind of like a kind of mobile tank kind of thing, I guess, but it's overall large size is cool and fits the figure, but it's weird. As I'm sitting here complaining that this is, good size and then this gets too small, if it was proportioned the way that I would want, it would probably make him look a lot bigger than I would prefer. So again, it's okay, just not really sitting well perfectly with me. These little front bits here, they can actually tuck down. That's a nice little added touch. I don't think I've ever really remembered seeing that in the cartoons, but they're like little headlights. You can see that there's a little semi-translucentness to them, which gives them a glow, but for the most part, you can leave them down like that, which is okay. You got that, you know, blue translucent plastic up here for the windshield as well. You can see that you got a couple different storage options here. You got a little peg right here that actually is like hexagonal. Well, I don't know if that's hexagonal. There's 6 sides. What's a 6-sided thing? Well, it fits in there perfectly. It doesn't rotate though, because again, I'm just going to say hexagonal shape of the peg fits perfectly with that. So you can angle it in, kind of, well, not even really. I mean, it doesn't really seem to want to rotate. You can put it there on the side there. It looks a little bit better in helicopter mode, or you can put it there and then have that kind of rotate as a gun turret. The sword here, you can leave in the little sheath thingy like that. If you had this plugged in there, just do that. You can do something like that. There's many different options. I do kind of wish, if you're going to have this here, I wish there was a way that you could have stored this underneath. Unfortunately, I mean, you could, if they put a little tab thing right there, you could have perfectly have done that. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But again, unfortunately, I never got instructions with this, so I'm honestly kind of winging it and hoping that I have it right. And I think I got it pretty much perfect, but we'll see. Now, for the transformation, going into his helicopter mode is actually fairly easy to do. We're going to lift these up and then just separate this, hinge this back. As you do, it will bring this little wing piece out. So you bring that back and then do that on this side as well. You'll notice now though that there is a gap. It doesn't come all the way together. You got to come around here to this section and give this a little squeeze to bring that all the way in. You have to have it separated in the car mode to have the tires line up properly. But one thing that I'll say is that this top section here also shifts around, so it's a little bit difficult to get things lined up, but just play with it and you can get it looking pretty good. Kind of keep that like that. Now this part I think is really very neat. You lift this, get that separated. I love what they actually did with the cockpit. As you can see, it's wider here. So what you do, then come around here, bring this piece out, and then this entire section, bring this down, collapses in, effectively making the entire cockpit section shrink, which is amazing. Bring that back down, and then you can see you got 2 little sets of slots here. The outer section is for the wider configuration. The ones here on the inside, obviously, for the thinner one. So bring that in like that. Then take these arms. You want to detach these just like that. We're going to hinge these all the way out and kind of rotate these down. Just creates a little bit of clearance for you to kind of do stuff. Come around here to this section, angle it down and in, and then you want to detach this and then swivel. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Before you do that, keep that kind of up there. Take this section, and if this detaches like here, that's fine. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that later on. Take this and slide this down. This can be really tough to do. This rail system here is solid, so get that all the way down. You're gonna have to do that anyhow, so do that. Man, yeah, really stiff. So kind of, I'm gonna wiggle it and slide it down that rail. Definitely very stiff rail section. So there we go. Now when you do that, you can then take this, detach this, and then rotate this around like so. Keep this kind of out of the way so you have the clearance to do it. So you bring that around, and then you can see you got a little tiny yellow bit on this that then when you rotate it around actually lines up perfectly with the whole front section, which I think looks great. And then tab that in just like so. Kind of again hinge that down, fold this out, rotate this around, and then tab that in just like so. Now when you have this all rotated down, keep that like that, keep that all lined up, come around to these bits. You want to then take this, rotate this out, take this piece, fold that out, collapse this back down. Then you want to come around here. This is a little bit tricky to kind of get to. Come around here to the back section here, and this little piece here actually rotates around, and that just kind of covers in some of the gapping here. I'll show you how it looks otherwise. So you're going to rotate that around, and when you have it brought back like so, you can see a little bit of a gap right there. That just kind of closes it up. It makes it look a little bit nice. That's a nice added touch. They didn't need to do it, but it looks good. As long as you don't put it away. There you go. So rotate that. Then come around here to this front section. This is on a double hinge. I do worry about this over time because it's a very stiff hinge, and you can see kind of has loosened this up. I can see a little kind of stress mark on the inside here from bending this around, like, because you have to bring it in, and then you can see, I don't know, yeah, you can probably actually see that. I'm going to zoom in. You can see the stress marks forming on that because you have to bring that all the way around. So I do worry about that over time. It's a little unfortunate. I wish it did hinge around a little bit better, but it is what it is. So then bring this up. This piece here is going to tab in, and then bring this back. You've got a little slot section here on the inside of the leg that lines all this up. And then when you look on the inside here, you're going to see two little tabs. You see one there on the top and then one in the bottom. The bottom is what's going to go into the body and lock everything in place. You got to give that a good squeeze to make sure that that's lined up. So again, hinge this, fold that around, bring this up and in. Got there we are, just like that. Okay, bring that down. We're going to fold this piece out, fold out the little fin, close that. Again, so I mean, you can see just how messy that looks compared to how much cleaner that looks. So a small little touch that they didn't need to put in there, but I think it really does help the overall presentation of it. So then again, hinge that down, put that there, give that a squeeze. And that's a little bit precarious. So again, it's just, you know, I think that's the best that I'm going to get it right now without destroying anything. So there's the main body of it. And then again, you take this bit, separate this, rotate that around, and you plug that right in there. And there you have his helicopter. And again, I still feel as if the front section here is bigger than really it should be, I guess. Looking, oh, you know what? Oh no, that's just kind of screw holes. So looking at it, and then you get like these little screw holes right there that are a little cosmetically ugly, whereas this side doesn't have it. This side definitely does, and that's again a little bit kind of ugly, but it comes together decently. But again, big upper section, and the actual front section here gets bigger as these pieces come around here and fill in there, and then this still kind of looks stubby, I guess. You can see that the tires from his car mode still function as kind of like a landing gear for him. Again, size-wise, I think that this mode actually works a little bit better being bigger like this because he's a helicopter. But again, it's looking here, you got some foundational kind of stuff. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't get instructions, so I do apologize if I'm not getting it right, but you can see that the propeller spins. It is a little bit wobbly in there, but overall it's not bad. Again, I've said it before, it's okay. But I do think that the helicopter mode works a little bit better because of the size with them, and I think that it kind of complements the smaller Masterpiece figures a little bit better. So pretty cool. And then again, you can while you got that there, you can take this guy and you can come around, plug that on the side, so you got pretty decent weapon storage. Nothing really doing with this. Trying to think if there's anywhere you can really stick this guy. Not too much. And just wedge it there, I guess, or wedge it here in the back. I'm trying to see if that's wide enough, and it really doesn't feel like it's wide enough to fit in there. So you do kind of have to just put that off to the side. You can take these bits and you can rotate these forward again, but again, it's not supposed to look like that. But little added touches like that I really do like. You got the same colors obviously coming through, the green, the yellow, all look pretty good. I do like the kind of propeller color a whole lot more. This, you can see a lot of nice molded detail, like the doors around here, and then you come around, you got some silver paint right down in here. It doesn't really function as, you know, a little propeller or anything, but good sculpt work throughout the whole guy. I'm just pushing that in there. It's simple though, and I think that people are probably going to look for more with this because it is a masterpiece scale. But in general, I'm pleased with it, considering this is the first offering that we've gotten from Open and Play. I do think it's pretty good. Now, transformation into his robot mode can be a little bit trickier though. Getting this out, we're going to come around here, we're going to open this up, and then just kind of leave that there because we're going to have to get in there anyhow. Come around here to these legs, well, what are going to become his legs. Going to split that and then angle these and just up just like that. Come around here to this side, lift these bits up, get that out of the way, and then you can detach all this. Pull that away, hinge this up and away from the body. These pieces here, then you want to kind of pull out and then swivel this entire section all the way around just like that, and then bring these down, and these will clip in right there and locking in to complete the actual thighs form. Take these little bits that you had right here, fold that, and then that, fold that, and then that. Come down here to these legs. These can get a little bit tricky to kind of do, but you just take this, rotate this around. I tend to forget actually how to do this bit right here, so bear with me. Oh, well, no, you want to fold this, I think, like that. There we go. Then rotate this around, set that there. There we go. And then bring this around on the back of his leg. Fold out the foot, and then collapse all this down, and this will sandwich together and lock into place just like that. That was a lot of flopping around, so let me try that one more time for you guys. So I should have left it like this and kept that down just like so. Then take the foot, rotate that out, spin this around here at the knee, then this, you're going to rotate that around, rotate this piece to the back, spin this around like so, and then bring this down, and this will sandwich, I'll put that piece away. This will sandwich down and in, kind of locking in place, at least it should. Let's see, this one, oh no, that one didn't really lock in either. So, trying to see that, oh, you know what, okay. That's interesting. I just discovered that. Okay, so leave this down. Then you got this little green slot right here. You have to get that out of the way. Come on. So you got this little green piece. You need to push that all the way down and then slide that green piece there. That actually locks that entire section together. That's quite creative. So again, come around here, fold this piece out. So you got that little green piece right here. You need to slide that out. That will lock in the outer section right here, locking those halves together. Fold that up just like that. That's cool. I actually dig that. Okay, rotate these all the way around, fold out the feet, fold out the little toe section, do that on both sides like so, and there you have his lower body done, and that was a little bit more interesting than I thought it was going to be. You know, take this, fold that back just like that. Now you come here to the top section, and this gets a little bit creative. So we're going to come around here, detach this whole bit just like that, come around here, fold this piece, and then you take his head and rotate that around and through this guy, these pieces here. these little side bits. How can I show you this? Okay, these little side bits here have to come out, and then you just hinge those back just like that. So do that on this side as well. There you go. Pull that, hinge that. Come on, get your finger in there, hinge that down. That creates the gapping area for you to be able to swivel those shoulders down. So make sure you do that. Keep this little piece folded out, and then rotate all this. This part right here, you can tab down. It will more than likely come undone in a minute. So just lock that in, push these little pieces up, and lock those along his chest. Gonna position his head there, around the top, come around here to the back, fold this all the way back, and then you take this entire section, fold this down, collapse that in, and lock that into place. Bring these arms around, detach these. This part here can be a little bit tricky to get this, but pull that out, rotate that around, and then you bring these two forearm pieces together, locking that in. Rotate that, spin his fist around. So again, do that on this side. Open this, rotate that around, sandwich those two pieces, rotate that. You want to then hinge these arms, so you have it like this, hinge these arms all the way up like so. Now when you get him out of the package, he's going to be like this, but you can actually kind of customize it and make it a little bit more screen accurate of sorts. Again, that does not like staying right there, so squeeze that. You can then take these, if you really wanted to, fold these out, take this little back section, tuck that up and in, do that on that side as well, and then you can rotate these around, and then you want to take these, fold these back up to the top, and then you come around here and you got like a little slot here that's going to groove in there. Lock that in, fold that piece down, keep that tabbed down. That doesn't like staying down really much at all now. And then push that in right along there. Do that on this side as well. So pull it out. This will then rotate around, and you can collapse this across his shoulders. Pull this up. Lots going on with this guy. Fold that there. Fold that down, take this, tuck that down. This piece here is going to be problematic for a lot of people. Mine especially keeps popping out. So just kind of line it up and give it as strong of a squeeze as you can, but it's not going to really matter too much because it will pop it right back out anyhow. Do that. See, I mean, I can feel it just popping right back out, and that's a little unfortunate. But let's see, I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, this piece, tuck that up and under. That brings that all the way back. There we go, that helped out. Make sure you tuck that little guy up and under. But when you're done, and see stuff's popping out on them, keep that there, keep that there. As I was just about to say, when you're done, just getting them standing, looking halfway decent, there you have Big Spring in his robot mode.
Hey.
Oh, there you are. So, okay, getting back to it. So here we have Big Spring, obviously all full and done up. And I gotta say that I really do like the figure. There are some nagging aspects about him that do put me off, but I'm pretty impressed with what they did accomplish here. There are some aspects here, though, in robot mode I'm not a big fan of. So as you can see, he holds his weapons fairly well. You can come around here to the back, and then you got that little helicopter port. You can plug that in there, and you can sheath that. Oh, well, sheath it. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, wow, that's... Sheath it. It is a little bit kind of tight going in there. Yeah, okay. He also have his gun that he can hold. No problems with any of that stuff. But this I have a huge problem with. It's... I had coffee, ignore me. But this does not stay down at all. It won't stay there. It's so incredibly frustrating for me. So when you move his arms, oh look, yay, hello guys. That really does bother me. That's something that I think they absolutely needed to make sure it functioned properly. And you can push it, but you got these little tabs here that lock things in. It doesn't do a good job of it. So it's really, really frustrating when you want to try to move things around, because it just sits there and look at that. He's dancing. Again, I had coffee. Ignore. Maybe I should drink coffee more, because you guys are probably going to like this. The other thing that on topic here, Paul. The other thing that I don't like is that. Oh, happy day. We have a very angry kind of face, but that looks like kind of like an anime sort of version of Springer, and not happy with how that turned out. Now, the paint on the entire figure looks great, and the face has some good paint on there. You can pull his face off, and you can see it's just like, give me your face. You can see some really great metallic blue paint for the eyes, and you kind of have eyes and a mouth right there.
Yeah. I'm in your dreams and your nightmares.
Okay. Ooh. Way too much pumpkin spice latte. So, I mean, overall, that face is terrible. Now, maybe Open and Play will come out with a new face. I really hope that they do, because that I can get over, because, again, because you're just going to have him standing there, right? So it's not too terribly bad. But if he's just standing there and you're looking at that mug, it's not a good thing. Now, he is a masterpiece size figure, so bringing in the ruler, he is well, like, what is that, 9.5 inches? That's what she said. So that's, God, here, okay. I'm bringing in hot rod. There's hot rod. So you can see he does get pretty big. That's probably a little bit bigger than I would probably like for a masterpiece. Now, Hot Rod is a smaller character in general. When he gets bigger and becomes Rodimus, I think he works a little bit better, but I can't get to Rodimus right now. So Rodimus comes up to like about here. So he's a pretty decent size. And just for another comparison, here he is with the Amigo Squeeze. So you can see, I mean, he is a pretty good size. I do really like that. I think he fits. Aesthetically, everything else works, I think. I like the way that his legs look. I like the rounded shape of his thighs. I mean, everything, like I said, looks pretty good. I do kind of wish that these could be a little bit more positioned on an angle. I know some animation images showed this kind of being like diagonal. Some showed it being perfectly like this. I think if you get the arms out like that, kind of flares those off to the side, kind of like that. I think that looks a little bit better. But in general, it looks really good here in robot mode. The back, you can see, cleans up really nice. I mean, there's not like a lot of kibble on this guy. The legs turned out really good. The torso, except for this, turned out pretty good. It is a good figure. Don't get me wrong. I think the face could be better. That could be better. But robot mode, I think, is what really sells this. The helicopter mode and the vehicle mode, not bad. Proportionally, I think it's a little bit like I've talked about. You know, the front section is a little bit fat, and then it gets a little bit stubby towards the back. Robot mode here looks great, and honestly, for me, I'm going to display him in robot mode, so it works. First articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you get some like that all over the place, kind of side to side and everything. You get some nice, fairly soft ratchet joints, rotating that around. You got a little hinge kind of going right here. You have a swivel right there. You have a couple hinges here for the elbow, a double kind of hinge system. You can see an upper section and a lower section. Again, paint looks really good. I like the green. You got some darker green on there. I mean, that all really does look very nice. I do appreciate that. His wrists do swivel. You do have some hinges here for the fingers. They're permanently bent like this. That's kind of a weird thing. I wish they could straighten out a little bit more, because as it is, they're just like that. It's kind of strange if you just want to have a relaxed look, but I guess if you just stand there with your hand, I mean, most people's hands kind of like naturally curl. They don't like stand straight like that, so I guess that's okay. He does rotate here at the hip. He does have, if you move this, get that out of the way, he does actually have an ab crunch, which is cool. So maybe not even attaching that. I don't know. It's kind of weird, because you clearly are meant to have like an ab crunch right there. But the only way to be able to do it is if you detach this, which conveniently enough, it detaches very easily. So maybe that was the intention. I have no idea. The hips, nice ratchet joints moving forward and back. And then I also like how you have this piece, which as you move it, fills that area in. I think that's really cool. You got some nice ratchet joints going in and out. You got a, does that rotate? No, you got a swivel right there at the upper part, or well, middle part of the thigh, I guess. You got some ratchet joints here. You have some ankle kind of tilt in and out. It kind of moves forward and back a little bit, not a ton. You got some toes that can move. Lots of toes. I mean, you can really curl your toes with that, like, wow, look at that. You can make claws out of them or something. That one was already doing it. So in general, like I said, I think the best part about this figure is the robot mode. It is the best looking out of all three of the modes. Triple changers usually always have a weak mode. Usually though, the robot mode is one of the positive ones, followed by at least one of, I guess, the vehicle modes. The vehicle modes all on this are decent looking, but I think that or both of them kind of have a little bit of a lackluster sorta-ness to them. But the robot mode here looks great, and I think that with a Masterpiece figure and a Masterpiece display, he's going to go great. Now, all the negatives that I've talked about this figure, I can almost forgive every single one of them, because this guy only cost $80, which is amazing to me because of how big he is. There's some die cast in here. I mean, there's some weight. There's some good quality to the plastic. The paint applications in general are really well done. And it's not even really necessarily paint applications. It's a lot of molded plastic or molded colored plastic, which I think just looks good. So, I mean, like I said, so all of that in terms of the negatives, I can really just about forgive the fact that this is $80. I mean, that's impressive. And for a company that we've never heard of, Open and Play, what? How are they doing a figure like this for $80? I mean, I could see maybe a company that's been around the block for a long time that already has like a financial kind of foundation in doing other figures that maybe, like, hey, if they've done 20 other figures that have all done well, let's throw them a bone and do one that's not expensive. But Open and Play, all right. No idea. I'm sure in the grand scheme of things with third-party companies, somebody's going to say, well, hey, didn't you hear that Open and Play is actually such and such a company? And no, I didn't, because I never heard of these guys, so whatever. But he's a cool toy. I do like him, and there are negatives to him, but I think that the positives really actually do outweigh the negatives, and that price is a huge bonus. So all that being said, if the Open and Play Big Spring is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at places such as Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on that link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of their wide range of third-party figures. But beyond that, guys, That's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you get email notifications. We all know just how unreliable the YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to know when I upload a new review is clicking that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And until next time, till all are one.